All right, welcome back. We're talking to the author of Cork Dork. Who doesn't love that title? Oh my gosh. And of course, Oregon, known for its wonderful wines throughout the Willamette Valley, but we were just talking about the fact that a lot of us just pretend to know about wine.
Yes,
we really don't know that much at all. And Bianca Bosker didn't know that much about wine at one point either. You were a journalist with HuffPost and you quit your job to write this book.
Yeah, well, first quit my job to become a cellar rat, which is the lowest of the low in the wine world. And from there, start to train as a sommelier.
So you actually didn't just write about it. You
I
dove right in.
I mean, yeah, there was a lot of wine that was consumed. But yeah, it was for me, you know, it grew out of, I've always been obsessed with obsession. And it grew out of this fascination. I discovered this world of cork dorks. You know, these are people who lick rocks to train their palates. They divorce their spouses to spend more time studying, you know, flashcards about vineyard sites. And then it became this question of, you know, not just who were these people, but could I do what they did? You know, I had never felt my spirit moved by a glass of grape juice.
Wow.
So I wanted to know, could I train my senses? Could I work with them?
Did you?
Oh, you have to read the book, but yes,
okay.
I did.
Okay,
but we
just
can, but any of us can.
Bianca.
Yeah, but that's, I think, is so cool. Is, you know, it's not like you have to be born knowing something about wine or already this master sommelier.
It is quite mysterious, though, and the people who are the experts in it kind of make you feel a little embarrassed. Oh, I just dropped some more of my equipment on the ground, Bianca.
That's like
they're going to fire me today, but that's all right. Maybe I'll learn more about wine after
I can recommend some good wine.
Okay,
you can have a whole bottle.
I could actually use a glass right now.
So Bianca, is the moral of your story basically that people like Tracy and I we're better than we think we are when it comes to learning about wine?
In what way?
Yeah, for sure. So there's, you know, I wrote that book partially because I was in the same situation that you were. You know, wine. I enjoyed it, but the most I ever got out of a glass of wine was drunk. And I felt like there was more than that.
Always a bad thing, but yes.
And, you know, the point is that I think that I wanted to take people on this journey that I went on, and any of us can do it. Any of us can learn something. Again, you know, I start off with this sort of question of, could I train my senses? Could any of us? And we can, you know, it's like a muscle that exists. And
well, just one simple thing.
Yeah.
You know, like I'll go to pour something and my oldest brother, who knows a great deal about wine, will say, "Ooh, that's a white wine glass." And I'm like,
you're like,
oh,
it holds the wine.
But you say the glass does matter.
It does matter, actually. Yeah, not, you know, look, I wouldn't be so picky as to, you know, give you a hard time, because look, wine is so intimidating as it is, and I think you have to start somewhere. But a solo cup is not a substitute. I was very interested, you know, in looking at both the soul of wine, but the science of it. And so in some cases, fact checking, you know, these traditions and myths. And what I found was there's been surprising amount of scientific research done on glass shape and wine. And in general, you want something with sort of like a round cup, and it's smaller at the top, wider in the middle. But beyond that,
so what are some tips for the average person who doesn't know a lot yet?
Yeah.
I mean, what are a couple things, some tangibles we can take away from this?
Well, the first thing is you have to tell the difference between taste and smell.
Okay.
And that is surprisingly difficult. Most of us actually confuse the two. We assume that anything happening in our mouth is taste. Well, it turns out we actually can smell inside of our mouth. And a big part of the pleasure that comes from wine is the smell. I mean, again, I think a lot of us, we enjoy the sort of buzz that you get out of a glass of wine. Tastes fine, but I think a lot of us don't even take that extra step to think about the way that it smells. And to appreciate that doesn't just start with a glass of wine, it starts in the shower. I mean, it basically is, you know, starting to pay attention to smell. Make yourself think about the smell of your shampoo, try and describe the smell of your toothpaste at night. All of these things help us begin to listen to our nose. And that, I think, is a very key part.
The worst part is when you walk into a restaurant, though, because you're pretty sure the server is judging you.
They are.
They are.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
They are.
Great news.
Yeah, now you don't have to even ask yourself.
Okay.
They are, yeah.
Yeah, because they know more than you do.
Well, but partially also because I think, you know, when you think about going to a restaurant, it's about the service, but it's also hospitality. People want to know that if you're a sommelier, if you're a server, and you're good at your job, you want to provide an emotional experience as well. But yeah, they're keeping notes on you. You could be in New York, they could be HWC, which means handle with care, and they'll keep notes. If
Wow.
you throw a temper tantrum, you might be an SOE, which means sense of entitlement. So they are.
I
logging
clearly
you.
will just be the person who breaks
Obviously.
anything on the table.
You'll just drop it on the floor
yes.
3 times.
Yeah.
So do you have a favorite Oregon wine?
So many.
how do you
I'm
choose?
glad to hear that.
Well, I mean, because I grew up here, and I find that you can really travel through space in a glass of wine. And so when I'm homesick, I
love that
smell
thought.
those
I love the passion you have for it.
leaves. Like it takes me back to childhood in a glass of wine. But recently, I mean, Edelsheim is an incredible classic, but Teutonic Wines is a cool, sort of more relatively recent newcomer, and they're doing some fun stuff.
So you are at Powell's City of Books tonight at 7:30. You're giving a little talk on your book.
I
and
am.
People can pick your brain tonight.
Yes, I'm
That'll be so fun.
excited.
I bet you're fun. And everybody has tons of questions
Yes.
for you, right?
Yeah, it's
Very
always
interactive.
a good time. Well, look, I think wine can be intimidating. It can be a bit stuffy, and I think got to come at it with a sense of humor and a sense of humility.
Bianca, one last quick question.
Yeah.
What do you spend on a bottle of wine just for the regular work week?
It completely varies. I mean, the good thing about knowing something about wine is that you can find the hidden gems,
Sure.
right? So I don't know, $20, but
Okay.
I have developed, as I've become more of a connoisseur, I now spend a lot more than I used to on wine.
Bianca Bosker, again, the author of Cork Dork. Catch her tonight at Powell's on Bernstein.